What's up, Dp-Ygo here, looking at the brand new Prophecy Link monster coming out in the Link Frames pack. This is Crowley, the origin/source of the prophecy, and this is a very interesting card because I think that there are some serious lore implications here. The first thing that I noticed about the card before I even read the effect was, I was like, holy shit, is this Aleistar on the card? Like, tell me this is not Aleistar the Invoker. You guys know this guy right here. It definitely looks like him, but then if you Google this guy named Aleistar Crowley, it's like, this is pretty interesting. It says right here on Google that he's a ceremonial magician. I was like, yo, I think that Aleistar is actually part of the prophecy archetype. I mean, you guys know that like the spell books are these magical books that give you powers, I guess, if you read them, and they have this entire like library and whatnot, and they have a tower full of these like magical books. Well, what is on Aleistar's card? He's holding a book, and that book has its own special card. It's like, dude, maybe Aleistar is the one who invented the spellbooks. Maybe he created them because it says on this card that he is the source of the prophecy. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. I think we might have cracked the code right there. Anyways, let's break this guy down, because I don't think he's the easiest thing to get on the field, but I actually think this is a pretty solid card. Dark Spellcaster, just like Aleistar, who is also a Dark Spellcaster with 1000 attack. We're cracking the code, guys. 1000 attack linked to bottom left, bottom right, which are the link points, and he requires 2 Spellcasters to make. His first effect is the hard once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you can reveal 3 spellbook cards with different names from your deck. Your opponent chooses one of those randomly, adds it to your hand, the rest go back into your deck and are shuffled. Effect number 2, each turn, 1 level 5 or higher spellcaster monster you can normal summon can be summoned without tributing. So second effect, I don't really think is that useful in Prophecy. If you look at the archetype historically, there's only been 2 of those high level Prophecy monsters that they've really ever run in the main deck. That would be High Priestess and World of Prophecy. I think World of Prophecy is probably not a card you're going to run anymore, although it can be kind of powerful. I think mainly this would be for like High Priestess, but even that, I'm not really sure how many people are running that. My biggest issue with this card is the fact that it is a link 2 instead of it being a link 1, but I think that there are some ways to kind of work past that. I was watching Lithium's video of this, and I think he had a great example in that being instant fusion. If you normal summon Blue Boy and then you instant fusion out either Window or Thousand Eyes Restrict, there is your 2 spellcasters right there, and with Thousand Eyes Restrict, obviously you get to suck up an opponent's monster as well, so you're not really taking that big neg, and then when you summon this, you should be able to activate its effect and get that nice plus. That plus can give you Blue Boy, keep that in mind. It can actually search a monster, and if you happen to have Spellbook of Life, you can possibly bring back that Window or bring back that Thousand Eyes Restrict, and you can slow the game down to your pace, and you can still kind of play that win condition of protect the Blue Boy. Obviously, you're protecting your link monster, which is literally a blue card, so I guess it's still a blue boy, but yeah, you can use Spellbook of Wisdom to protect it, you can use Spellbook of Fates, and it's kind of like you're playing the old grind game of protect the blue boy, just with a different monster, and I think that this card actually can be pretty good in that situation. I guess hypothetically, you could also play Brilliant Fusion, dump a Trick Clown in the graveyard, that would give you 2 spellcasters if you normal summon a blue boy as well. This card in Dark Magician, I think, is okay. I would probably say that there are better cards to like summon with 2 spellcasters in Dark Magician. I mean, Dark Magician can play a relatively small spellbook engine. In my Dark Magician deck, I play 4. I play 1 Blue Boy, 2 copies of Wisdom, excuse me, 2 copies of Knowledge, sounds like Wisdom, and then 1 copy of Secrets. And I guess you could still keep that same lineup, or maybe you could adjust it a couple of cards and you could play this in Dark Magician. It would still be probably just as difficult to summon, because Dark Magician is a deck that, once again, it summons Rod during its opponent's turn, and then everything else is summoned, you know, during your, like, or excuse me, you summon Rod during your turn, and then everything else is summoned during your opponent's turn with like Navigation and Eternal Soul and whatnot. And I honestly think a Dark Magician is probably better monsters to summon, but I guess being able to summon a Dark Magician from your hand without tributing, if you don't have Navigation or Eternal Soul, seems pretty decent. But overall, if you can get this card on the field, I think that it actually can be very good. I wish that the effect activated every single turn, not just one time when you link summon it, or I wish that The second effect, summon from the deck. If it's summoned from the deck, oh my god. Actually, nah, summoning a World of Prophecy from the deck might be a little too OP. Maybe if it could just summon like High Priestess from the deck, like that would have been amazing. But overall, I actually do think that this is a pretty good card. Would have been better if it was a Link 1, but I think I'll still take it the way it is. I do think that it's interesting, guys. Do you guys think that this is Aleistar? This has to be Aleistar. Not only does he have a book in his hand, but this has the same exact attribute, same exact type, and same exact stat line as Aleistar. Like, this has to be Aleistar. Aleistar must have created the spell book, or he created the spell books or something like that. Anyways, whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on those notifications for daily videos.